You're in for a treat.
Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays.
2 West.
6 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
We got new hours because we're nerdish.
And we're in our 20s despite our looks, so we gotta do things in the evening time over the summer.
Correct, but not too late because, as Levi said, we're in our mid-20s.
Not our early 20s.
And not our late 20s, the mid-20s.
Yes, we're the Goldilocks of 20s.
That's right, I shouldn't have laughed. I gotta keep it cool, because this is our intro rap, where we keep things cool.
We're very cool, so cool we might want a dance break.
Hey, thanks for watching our dance break.
Now, back to the really serious stuff.
Like Brady.
And Levi.
And Brady too. We're the 3 members of the Nerdish crew.
That was perfect. We didn't plan that.
Not at all. We don't plan anything. If you couldn't tell by this rap. That was the one thing we rhymed.
That was the one thing.
Which makes it a rap.
Yes. All raps have one rhyme.
We'll see you on 2 West.
Yes. 2 West.
6, 7:30 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Keep watching, because it'll turn into us, but probably not wearing the wigs.
Yes, and we'll be much more responsive to whatever you have to say.
You could ask us questions right now. We will not answer them.
Also, we take no responsibility for anything we've done in this pre-recorded session.
Yes. Any lost items, Nerdish is not responsible.
Right. We don't have anything to do with it. We're very different people in the present than we are from when we're recording this video. You might say we are the pupae of Nerdish right now. And in the future, we will be the moths.
The
Because
disgusting gray moths.
Yes, those gray moths that you hear, they're like the bats of the flying community.
The wings are leathery. They're leathery wings.
Very leathery.
They're basically butterflies, but we hate them.
Yes.
They're the rodents of butterflies.
This is true.
Right?
Just like the ACT is the rodent of the SAT.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
Hey, it's me. It's just me for the next couple of minutes, hopefully not too many. Brady will be here. He's just a little late sometimes on Wednesdays sometimes. Hi, Matthew. How are you? What's going on? I'm going to start in on some problems unless you have some questions. Right now, it's just you and me, so private tutoring, essentially, one-on-one. There we go. That's great. Why does that say that? Oh, whatever. You can ask me questions. I have some more robot dancer questions. I know they're not the most helpful thing to you every time, but it's good to go over stuff, or we can go over your stuff, whatever you want to talk about. Just let me know. But until you do, I'll do some robot stuff. Okay, let me pull that up. Don't have any questions right now. Sounds good. Okay. All right. So, boy. Let's make this way easier. Okay. This has a little bitty direction stuff up there, which I'm going to write it up here in pink so that we have it, and then I can just put the graphs up there. So this says t plus 2 is a factor. T plus 2 is a factor. And then we have, is a factor of the polynomial equation h equals 10. H equals 10 times the quantity t squared plus, t cubed. T cubed plus 4t squared plus t minus 6 plus t minus 6. Okay, interesting. Which of the following is the graph of the equation in the TH plane? Why they put it in the TH plane, I don't know. It's not any different, but I mean, I actually don't have a problem with them doing things like that because they want you to be able to generalize from the things you've learned. So them saying TH plane versus XY plane doesn't actually make a difference, but you not freaking out is, actually a good thing. So they are testing you on your ability to generalize and apply what you've done in the past to new situations so that it doesn't keep you stuck in always XY because that's the only thing you'll ever understand. I'm going to move this a little bit over. Yeah, put it right there. Okay, so first one. It looks like, you know, that's not quite big enough, in my personal opinion. But let's go with it. So, what do we know here? We know that we have a third-degree polynomial. So you may know that that means because it's an odd-degree polynomial, the end behaviors of the left and right tails will go in opposite directions. So either up and down or down and up. You don't absolutely have to know that for this question, I'm pretty sure. But that's fine. So, you know, I really don't like this. I'm going to put this as just two of them at a time. Yeah, that makes me happier. Okay, so now it's a little pixelated, but it's really big now. So, we have t plus 2 as a factor. What does it mean when t plus 2 is a factor? That has to do with x-intercepts, and that's where frizz comes from, or that's what we call it, frizz. Factors, roots, intercepts, in this case this is x-intercepts only that we're talking about, and then we have zeros and we have solutions. These things that I call frizz as a way to memorize them all have either they are identical things or they're super related. Hi Alan, do you have questions in the Discord? I'm happy to pull them up, just let me know. I'm going to finish this one first though. Good evening, Alan. So, these things are all the same, which means that t plus 2 tells us something about x-intercepts. This is the most common relationship that they'll test you on, especially on the SAT. But you definitely need to know it for both tests. So, factors and x-intercepts are basically the same situation because when you have a factored form of something, it's going to be y equals, and then you have your factors. Well, for x-intercepts, you know that your y value is 0. So therefore, you have you have 0. You plugged in 0 for y. You have 0 equals all these factored things multiplied together, and then you use the zero product property as you're used to doing when you factor it all the time, the thousands of times you've done it in high school, and you will get your x-intercept. So we know that because t plus 2 is a factor, t plus 2 is factor, gives us that we have the x-intercept. Now, we might have more x-intercepts, but we have the x-intercept -2, 0. Because we have the x-intercept -2, 0, that makes both A and B incorrect, right? Neither of them pass through the point -2, 0, so A and B both have to be wrong. Please let me know if that doesn't make sense. That's super important, this frizz stuff. So now let's keep it going. Let's make this smaller and then do this type of situation and this type of situation. Put it up here and go bam. All right. Okay, now we have these two guys. Both of them go through -2, 0, so we've got that covered. Now, there are a couple ways you can do this. You know that you have a third-degree polynomial. So third-degree polynomial. And that means the end behaviors are going to be in opposite directions, which actually both of these are, so that doesn't help. But third-degree polynomial, different end behavior. Brady, yeah, I think there's an Express 6 when it's rush hour. Yeah, but just get here when you get here. That's fine. I'm okay. Okay. Hey Brady, if you have any questions about the tests, please let me know. Or anything else, so your own personal life, I'm happy to talk about it since you're not here, and you won't find out. Okay, third-degree polynomial, we have different end behaviors. Just like x squared is always going to be up like this, or down like this, or x to the fourth is up like this or down like this, and there may be some squiggles in the middle, but it doesn't matter, not for x squared. And then third degree polynomial and any other odd degree polynomials will be different end behaviors. Now, which way is up, which way is down? If it's a positive out front, so the leading coefficient in this case is a 10, if that's positive out front, then the right end of your graph will be up and the left end of your graph will be down. If you don't know that, and then if it's negative as a leading coefficient, then left end is up, right end is down. That's just a memorization thing. If you don't have it, it's not the end of the world. Frizz is way more important, and then honestly, you can just plug in. You can just plug in values and see what happens. So in, let's take C for example. After it passes through at what looks like 1, 0, it just keeps going up to infinity, right? So any values of x that are greater than roughly 1 will give you a positive y value. Whereas in D, anything greater than any x value greater than 1 will give you a negative y value. So you could just plug in any number you want and see what happens. If we just think, okay, if we plug in a really big positive number, we get t cubed plus 4t squared plus t. So that's all positive values of t, and the exponents just make it even bigger. So we have a positive value of t. It's big, it's big, it's big, and we subtract 6, we multiply by 10. It's probably going to still be positive because we had a huge t value, right? We're going to put in a huge positive t value. Sorry, I've been saying x and t intermittently or interchangeably because this is a silly thing to have it as t comma h, but whatever. Therefore, we're going to have a positive h value, which means our h value here is going to be positive, so C is the right answer. Or you know, because it's a third degree polynomial and the leading coefficient is positive, that gives you right and up. Please let me know if you want a little bit more specificity on this type of thing. I like these types of problems because there are so many ways to figure it out. You don't have to know what things look like right off the bat, but there are so many things you can do. You could also find the y-intercept, right? If you know, we've talked about x-intercept here, but we find the y-intercept, that means, sorry, the h-intercept in this case. I like to read the graphs of polynomials from left to right to see if the graph is positive or negative. Hey, Levi Brady in chat, how's it going? Careful, Darth. Brady is actually in the chat right now, or he's probably in a subway somewhere and doesn't have service. One of the two. You like to read the polynomials left to right. I'm glad the weather is tolerable. Tolerate that weather. What do you mean you like to read the graph left to right, Alan? I'm not entirely clear on that. If it's positive or negative. Oh, sort of like the overall slope, which is not something fair, but you're just saying if it's a positive leading coefficient, then it's going to generally slope up, so you end up left is down and right is up. Is that your thought process there? Because that's actually cool. I like that. I've never thought of that. Less real memorization, it's more of a feeling thing or a dance. Okay. But y-intercept stuff is the same deal. Our y-intercept here is negative, our y-intercept here is positive. Well, y-intercept, h-intercept, means that your x or t value is 0. So if we plug in 0, we get 0, 0, 0, minus 6 times 10 is a negative 60. So we are going to have a negative y or h-intercept, so C is the right answer. Tons of reasons. I'm very sorry to slap the microphone if that hurt anybody's ears. It hurt my knuckles, which makes up for it. Okay, I like these. There are so many ways about it. There are x-intercepts, there are y-intercepts, there are end behaviors, there are just plugging in values. You know, you can just plug in values. At the end of the day, it's a graph that is represented by the equation. All of these things. Okay, Alan, did you put any questions in the Discord? I would love it if you had. I would love it. Oh yeah, a little bit of green tint to this one. Oh boy. Okay. What are we talking about here, by the way? Both of these? It's gonna take me a sec to read this. Okay. Nope. Huh? Come on. So both of them, okay. Let's do this. Or, well, no, that, yeah, wasn't. Both of the questions I got lost. Okay. Give me a sec to read this. So we have a graph that says music file and ebook purchases. The x-axis is the number of music files, and the y-axis is the number of ebook files. Okay, sure. So a website only sells music files and ebooks. The website sells music files for $1 each and ebooks for $2 each. Chris purchases fewer than 18 music files and ebooks combined. The total purchase price is greater than $10 but less than $25. Sure. The dashed lines in the XY plane above represent these three constraints on her possible purchases from the site. Okay, cool. Where X represents the number of music files and Y represents the number of ebook files that she buys, I assume. All right, so that's just our general information. I'm going to write that down real quick so I have it. Anybody else watching? Ask questions. Just put them in the Discord, put them in the chat. I will answer them. I have a staple of questions from someone else who's not watching right now, who will watch later. So I got stuff to do. You can just watch and hang out or say silly things. Not too many. But if you want to say, I'm happy to judge if they're funny enough to say, I guess. Okay, so we have X represents the number of music files. So X equals number of music files, and Y, was it Y? Should have been. Represents the number of ebooks. Number of ebooks. Okay. And we know that the purchase price is $1 and $2 each. Which region of the graph contains all possible combinations? I'm looking at number 19 now. Which region of the graph contains all possible combinations for the number of music files and ebooks Chris could purchase given the constraints? Okay. So let's look at these dotted lines individually. We have, it looks like, this is fun. Okay, let's look at the top end of the graph, so the lines that are farther out from the origin. That looks like the bigger constraint. So it's going to be total price is greater than $10 and less than $25. So let's think about, I wonder why there are two. Line L. Can you find the max number of music and ebooks to buy? Yes, possibly. So let's make an equation for that, yeah? So the number of music files are $1 each, which means that if we do X plus 2Y, that would be the cost of what you buy, right? And we say it has to be at least $10. Is it at least or greater than? Greater than $10. So that's greater than 10, but it has to be less than 25. So I don't think you cannot find the actual number because you only have this inequality. If you had an equation here, that'd be great, but you need a little bit more information, Matthew, right? But you can set this up. So this is, least amount of money you're allowed to spend, greatest amount of money you're allowed to spend, but exclusive, and then this is how much money you spend. The number of music files times $1 plus $2 times the number of ebook files. So from here, let's try to figure out what these dotted lines mean. If we have that top dotted line that starts at 18 and goes down to 18, I wonder what that means. That means the dashed lines in the XY plane above represent these three constraints on her possible. Oh, okay. Chris purchased fewer than 18 music files and ebooks combined. Oh, okay. I don't know how I missed that. So X plus Y has to be less than 18. Okay, so let's find out. we have x plus y has to be less than 18, so that's why we have that 18 to 18 dotted line, right? And that's going to have a slope of 1 because every ebook that you don't buy, you get to buy one more music file. So that's that line, that dotted line starting at 18 going to 18. Then that other line looks like this part of the inequality, right? We have, we start at 12 and a half-ish ebooks, because that would give us $25, which is impossible to have 12 and a half ebooks that actually work, at least. And then that line takes you from there to 25 music files, because music files are $1 each. You can have a max of 18 music files, or 12 point, so 4? Possibly, Matthew. Are you looking at the questions here? Okay, so let's do this number 19 question, since we've, I see. Yes, that is the right answer. So we have which region of the graph contains all possible combinations of the number of music files and ebooks Chris could purchase? Well, exactly what Matthew said. It's going to be number 4, because let's take that 18 to 18 line. You have to buy fewer than 18 in total, right? So that means it has to be your point that you have. So let's say your point is at 6,6. So right in there. 6,6 means 6 music files, 6 ebook files. That's great, right? That's allowed because it's going to be less than 18. So it's everything down from that hypotenuse of that right triangle you have there, which nicely is a 45, 45, 90, whatever. So hey Matthew, what is the length of that dotted line starting at 18 and going to 18? You don't give me a decimal, give me an exact answer, if you understood that question. It was sort of offhanded, so I don't know if it made sense. Okay, and then also the other bigger dotted line, or longer dotted line, from 12 to, or 12.5 to the 25, it's also got to be less than that, right? Because anything more than that will give you something that's greater than 25. Please let me know if that doesn't make sense, Alan. And then at the bottom here, this little dotted line, you have to be greater than that, because otherwise you're going to be spending less than $10. And you can pick points here, right? You can pick a point in each of the regions and see, does that coordinate pair of x, y satisfy both of these inequalities? Length of the line going from 18 to 18. Yes. Yes, Matthew. So number 19 has got to be number 4. Good. I'm glad that makes sense. And then the second question is, if Chris purchased 6 music files and a number of ebooks, which of the following is not a number of ebooks she could have purchased? So 6 music files. So that means that x equals 6. All right. I don't feel like solving anything. Yes, Matthew, but what is a faster way to do that? Knowing what type of right triangle this is. It should be within 2 seconds. You can figure this out. Or, I mean, you could do Pythagorean theorem. That's perfectly valid too. Ow. Ow. Where's Brady? I miss him. Okay. So I'm not going to solve things or try to mess with this to get an answer, because this is a not question. Not questions are kind of hard, or they can be time consuming. X root 2. Exactly, Matthew. So it would be 18 root 2. Good. So let's just plug in. Just like before, we can plug in and see if we're happy with these two inequalities. So the number 2, A is 2 for number 20. So if A is, not A, well, okay, so Y is 2. If Y equals 2, are we happy? Well, 6 plus 2 is less than 18, so good there. And then here we have 6 plus 2 times 2 is 4. That equals 10. So I'm going to say no. Now, I'm a little skeptical. Maybe this is a poorly written question from somewhere that's not official, and it doesn't say you can. It doesn't say inclusive here, but maybe it should be less than or equal to here and less than or equal to here. I don't know. So I'm going to guess that 4 is probably fine and 8 is probably fine. I'm going to try D for y equals 9, but I'm pretty sure y equals 2 is wrong. But if y equals 9, let's see. Y is 9. 6 plus 9 is less than 18. That's true. And then if we put it in here, we get 6 plus 18. 6 plus 18 is 24, which is less than 25. So the answer is y cannot be 2. So A is the correct answer for number 20 here. Alan, does that make sense overall? This is sort of a cool question. Took me a little bit to get into it because I missed that less than 18 thing and I was a little lost on why there were 3 dotted lines. This is an unusual question. They do like asking things like this on the SAT. They like coming up with new stuff. But I think also like the last one, people forget that plugging in values is a totally valid way to do a lot of graphing problems. If you have equations or inequalities and you have the graph for it, if you just plug in values that are inside and outside what you're doing, Nerdish is the best. Yes, we're the best Nerdish. The first Nerdish and the best Nerdish. Did you know Dr. Seuss came up with the word nerd? He made it up. That's why I like it. That's actually why we are called Nerdish, because we were just thinking about names. Just thinking about names makes it seem like we didn't think about it a lot. We thought about it a lot. Yes, you just plug in values. Yeah, but we were thinking, okay, Dr. Seuss is cool. Maybe some Dr. Seuss term or word, and nerd is perfect, and then nerdish, because you know, why not? Okay, very good. Alan, you got more questions coming? We'll tutor you forever. Yes, it is. It's very exciting, isn't it? Yeah, it does look like you're lagging a decent amount, Alan, which is fine. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Nothing new, but if you got new stuff, just let me know. I have one more question. Let me get it. I will let you get it, and I will be happy about it. Only one more? I'm sure you can ask more. Oh, oops. Let me get rid of this thing. I think I hear Brady. Maybe. I'm excited for him to get here so I can have my daily pack of Milanos. I have a box of Milanos, and I eat 2 of them every stream. Keeps me in check. I figure, you know. Oh, I have a cool question. What is this from? Okay. We have one more. I will let you. Oh, there it is. Okay. A home improvement store. Okay, wait. I should put it up for you. So we got a home improvement store sells. Okay, home improvement store sells indoor paint for $20 a can and outdoor paint for $30 a can. I thought it said $530 a can. A customer spends 260 cans of indoor and outdoor paint. $260 on cans of indoor and outdoor paint. Okay, this seems to me like one of those systems of equations setups. I think I got confused on the wording. Not sure how it's for. Okay. I think the answer is always 4. It was 4 on one of the last ones. It's always 2 or 4. All answers on the SAT are always 2 and 4. That'll help. Stupid. That's a stupid thing to say. Anyway, this is a classic setup. I'm going to finish it though. If the customer buys 2 fewer cans of indoor paint than cans of outdoor paint, how many cans of indoor paint did the customer buy? Okay. This is a classic system of equations setup. The SAT loves to make you make systems of equations. Either they give you context, like this, a word problem, and you have to build a system of equations or build an equation and then you solve it. Or they'll give you a system of equations or give you a single equation, and then they will take, yes, definitely keep that in mind, Alan. They'll give you the equations, and then you'll have to figure out what the context is from the numbers in that equation and what they mean. It's Bird.
Did you start without me?
I did, Bird. You told me to.
Oh.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
But that was the past Bird that hadn't gotten on the wrong train.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, classic setup. Let's identify our variables first. So we have indoor paint and outdoor paint. So I'm not going to use I and O because I'm just going to do X and Y. So X equals indoor, Y equals outdoor, So let's figure out, these sentences can translate directly into math, which is super nice. I think people forget that. There are some simplicities to this that are forgotten because you think math is math. No, math is logic. It's not math. Math is actually not math, right, Brady?
Yes.
Thanks. Okay, so $20 for indoor paint, $30 for outdoor paint. They spend $260. Okay, so let's figure out the money side of this. $260 is how much they spend. And how can they spend it? Well, they spend $20 per indoor can, so that's 20x, and then they spend $30 on outdoor cans. And that's our first equation, okay? This is super, super common. This was the last one. Last time we had x plus y, and we had is greater than 10, less than 25. Same exact setup, except this time we don't have inequalities. Then the customer buys 2 fewer cans of paint of indoor than outdoor. So this is where it can get a little weird. This sounds like it's a simpler idea, but often we forget, where are we going to do this -2? Because it's 2 fewer, right? It's 2 fewer cans of indoor paint than outdoor paint. So if we have x here and we have y here, and we want an equal sign in between them, we're going to have 2 fewer cans of indoor paint. So if this has to be 2 less than this, we don't do x -2. We either do x plus 2, because if x is 2 less, then we have to add 2 more to get to be equal to y, or we subtract 2 from y. 2 fewer than y is going to be x. Please let me know if that doesn't make sense. Now this weirdly expanded equation is one of our system. So now they want how many cans of indoor paint did the customer buy. Okay, so this is indoor paint. That's what we're looking for. So let's actually change this to y equals x plus 2. And then let's plug this in for that y. So now we just have an equation with x in it, and we can solve that equation. And we get $260 equals 20x. That was it. Oh, the x minus 2 versus x plus 2 situation? Yeah, okay. So that is actually a super, super common mistake that people make. I mean, it's super common. And you can't deny it since you just did it. It's obviously not a super high-level concept, but it's a hard thing to wrap your mind around and know for sure, because people second-guess themselves all the time. I second-guess myself. When I get confused on that, I come up with numbers. Okay, so 2 fewer cans of indoor paint than outdoor paint. Let's say I bought 10 indoor paint. Well, then I have to have bought 12 outdoor paint. Let's just make sure really quick that that equation works. Do it that way, you won't make a mistake from now on. Okay, so now we have this plus 30, I mean, I'm sure you can do this, but let's just finish out this problem. So we have 20x plus 30x plus 60. That equals 260. Let's subtract the 60. We get 200 equals 50x. And then x equals 40. No, it doesn't. It equals 4. Which is what you said at the beginning. Cool. All right. I'm glad you figured out what that was, Alan. It's a super common thing. Super duper common. All right. Was that your last and final question? Last and final? Oh my gosh. Matthew asked the question, Brady. Yes. Yeah, yes. Depends on the day.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I want to answer it. I want to
You want to answer it? Okay, so you can answer it. It's already up.
Okay.
Alan, keep finding more questions. We are the most useless resource if we're not used.
That's pretty accurate.
The most. No other resources that are unused are as useless as us. As we. If we're not used.
Oh, we could crop this better, man.
Oh, you got to go to eat. Okay.
All right, see, how do I
We
get
also
that?
need to eat because we eat questions for dinner. What's up?
For dinner.
For dinner.
I'm just going to crop this a little bit better than the way that you cropped it.
Well, it was cropped from the previous question. I was just excited
A
that it
likely
worked.
story.
It's a very
A likely story.
bird.
Look, I'm just saying it's a very likely story. In fact, it's so likely it probably is the truth.
Not in front of the
Children?
yes.
The children.
The sweet, sweet children.
Sweet, sweet children. Oh, I gotta make this big now. Okay.
Wait. Oh yeah, do it. Okay.
Where's Rachel? Where is she? No, but look. Where's Rachel?
Anyway. Okay. She was supposed to be here. Why isn't Rachel here? Why is f of x equal to x cubed plus 2x squared minus...
Okay.
If f of x is x cubed plus 2x squared minus 9x minus 18, which of the following statements is true? A, f of x equals 0 has 3 solutions. Well, three real solutions. That's pretty important. It's a cubic. It has a degree of 3, which means it's going to have 3 solutions definitely, but whether they're real or imaginary, we're not sure yet. So we're going to have to figure that out. So let's see if we could possibly solve this. Let's see if we can factor it. So we have x cubed plus 2x squared minus 9x minus 18. 4 terms. If you get 4 terms, something should pop out at you recognition-wise, which is you might be able to do factor by grouping, potentially. All right, let's try. First 2 terms, what do they share? They share an x squared. If I take out an x squared, inside I would have x plus 2. What do these terms both share? They both share a 9.
Why not 3, my lord?
Why not 3? They both share 3 as well, but then I'm going to have to factor it again.
You thrice-blasted tutor, you!
Well done. Do you want to come up here and show them how it's done? Or are you going to let me do it, you bloody? Sorry.
You didn't
We have some
say it.
internal divisions right now within the Brady Levi party.
I'll show you an internal division.
If you know
Yeah,
where?
where? Right on the board.
Okay, very good. So if this is factorable, we should be able to take out x plus 2 from this. Is that possible? Could we put something in front to make that possible? Well, yes. Minus 9.
Internal division.
Oh! I mean, it's implied because it's by itself on the denominator. I like that a lot.
Undoes it. So now actually you do 1 divided by b. Yeah, okay.
Okay, you're right. All right, so actually this does work, which means if I factor this fully, I will have these 2 terms together now, and then x plus 2. But I'm not done factoring yet, because this here is a pattern. It is the difference of squares pattern, which I can factor into x minus 3x plus 3. All right, so look at that. We have broken down our cubic into 3 factors, which means we would have found all of the solutions. This would be positive 3, negative 3, and negative 2. So A, it does in fact have 3 real solutions. We just found them. That is a big check. Good. B, f of x is greater than or equal to negative 18 for all x that is positive. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Well, if we think about what this thing would look like if we were to graph it, we now have our zeros. So we can actually graph it and get a decent idea what's going on. So we cross the x-axis at 3, negative 3, and negative 2. So 3, negative 3, and negative 2. It's a cubic, which means it's going to have opposite end behavior.
I already told them that.
Well, okay, so it's odd degree, opposite end behavior. Great. And then all of these, it also is a positive leading coefficient. So it's going to be something like this. We're going to go up, we're going to break through, we're going to break through. The y-intercept is negative 18, so that's going to be down here, and then we're going to break through up again. So this right here is negative 18. How did I know the y-intercept was negative 18? Just like slope-intercept form, the number at the very end is your y-intercept, because if all your x's have a value of 0, they all go away, leaving you with just negative 18. Your x is 0 when you're on the y-axis. So we have negative 3, negative 2, and 3. Here's approximately what our graph looks like. So f of x is greater than or equal to negative 18 for all x is greater than 0. That would be true, because negative 18 is our y-intercept. Which one is true? Let me think about this for a sec. It doesn't mean, though, that that's the minimum. That's the problem. Like, it potentially could look like this. Suppose there's no reason why it couldn't go further down.
Farther.
Jesus. Interesting. Okay. So it is greater than or equal to negative 18 for all x is positive. Well, one thing we could do is we could just try a value. What is this from? SAT, ACT, calculator?
It's from Ring Matthews.
Ring Matthews, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to come back to that one, okay? So, B, f of x has to be less than or equal to negative 18 for all x that is less than 0. Well, that's impossible, because we know we have to hit our zeros, so it has to come up from there. So x is going to have to be greater than negative 18 to be able to have its zeros. So so C is out of there. There's no way that that's possible. D, the function f of x is decreasing for x is less than or equal to negative 3. Math level 2. Okay, so you'd have your calculator here. In which case, you would want to graph this and just check it out yourself, because it would show you exactly what the graph is going to do. And you could ask your calculator's grapher to find the minimum, a local minimum on your graph. That is a very important skill for the Math Level 2 test. Anyway, it's decreasing for all x values that are less than or equal to negative 3. That is true. It hits our 0. It's got nowhere to go except for down. And that's what a cubic does, so it has to go down from there. So that one would be true. We go right there. I don't know why I made that noise. And then it's increasing for all x is greater than or equal to negative 3. No. No, it is not. It's increasing from here to this little local max, but then it has to decrease. It's going to head below the x-axis for a while. So it is not increasing for x is greater than or equal to negative 3. So that is also going to be nope. Okay, so back to B. If you were to graph this thing. Levi, we should, oh man, there's got to be a website that just has the TI-84 on it, and we could just use our screen capture to do it.
No.
All right, well, you know what,
I mean,
I
maybe.
did that.
No, I've actually looked.
Have you?
Yeah.
Very good, very good.
Oh, no, I looked for emulators.
Emulator. Okay, that's a good one. So the derivative would be 3x squared plus 4x minus 9. So if we were actually at 0, our derivative would mean that our slope is negative 9, which means it's going down. So it turns out that f of x is going to be slipping down below negative 18. So this is also not going to be true. I use calculus. You can't, if you haven't learned calculus yet, which you don't have to know for the math too, there's no calculus on it, but it definitely helps a little bit here and there. Yeah, just graph this thing. See what happens. Your vertex is not going to happen here. It is going to happen 3x squared plus 4x minus 9. We set that equal to 0. Let's see what happens there. So this is a quadratic. We're looking to multiply to negative 27 and add to 4. Anything do that? 9 and 3. No, it does not. Okay, so negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 16 minus 4a times negative c, which is going to be negative 27, all over 2a, which is 6. So this would be, here we go, negative 4 plus or minus. Levi, do we have any other questions?
No. I mean,
Okay.
we have
80, 28,
what's his name's questions?
108.
Robot's
16
question.
plus, okay, 16 plus 108 would be 124 over 6. Some good noises right there. Okay, so 124 would be a factor. We have 4. Oh, geez, 4 times 31. 4 times 31. Which would mean we could take 4 out and make it a 2 right here. 31 is prime, divide everything by 2. Negative 2 plus or minus that over 3, which right there would be the x values where we encounter our minimums. So negative 2/3, which is right around there, minus root 31, which would be around, that would be somewhere between 5 and 6. I'm just going to call it 5.5. So we have negative 2/3. Oh, and then divided by 3. That's the other part. So we have negative 2 minus 5, which is negative 7 over 3, which is around negative 2 1/3. Yeah, which is that point right there. That's why we see a change in slope. And then we would have negative 2 plus 5, which would give us around 3 divided by 3, which is around 1. Yeah, okay, so you're going to have your min right there. So it is going to go below negative 18, which means, yeah, we were right about that. Yeah, okay, so D and A. Now, this is interesting. Which of the following statements, which? Can there be multiple? I mean, if this is from a Math 2 actual test, you can only choose one answer. So, am I sure about all of these?
is decreasing for x is less than or equal to -3. Yeah, it's got to be decreasing. No! No! Oh my gosh. It's decreasing if you're going this direction. If you're going this direction, yeah, it's decreasing. But we always think about functions increasing and decreasing in terms of going to the right. So therefore, it is increasing on the way to hitting -3, which means that that right there is wrong. So our only answer is A, which I suppose we could have just said that at the very beginning once we knew it was absolutely true and just moved on. Which, you know, I'm not going to do because we have to explore all of our answers. But yeah, the rest of them are wrong. Ring Matthews, does it answer all of your questions? I kind of went on a tangent there with all that stuff. But yeah, as soon as you know that A is right, and again, like, throw this in your grapher. If you see 3 x-intercepts, you know that there are going to be 3 real solutions. Therefore, you're done, and you want to go to the next question. That is the fastest way to do this. Whew. We have some robot questions, you said?
Yes, they're just in the Discord. Nothing new, just still those other ones.
Ah, very good. Ring. Ring, ring. How does that go down? Does it go down smoothly? Hope it went down real smoothly. I'm going to change things up. How did you get through this before? Oh, okay. Ring, I don't think you've taken calculus yet. I found what's called the derivative, which is the equation for the slope of that line. It'd be a whole conversation. I'm not really supposed to do this on stream. Levi and I have a firm no calculus rule. If we do any calculus, then one of our arms gets cut off, which I'm going to vote for Levi's arm, because it doesn't specify whose arm it's going to be. But yeah, don't pay attention to this. This was my way of proving to myself that the place where our slope would switch from negative to positive happened after the x-axis. This should be nothing to you. This is for my own benefit. So don't look at that. Okay. Ring Matthews, what math class did you just finish this past year, and what math class are you going into? I'm curious about you. I want to know more. Maybe Levi knows, but I'll just get it from the horse's mouth. Pre-calc, going into Calc BC. Got it. Get ready for a lot of what I just did, even though you're not sure what that is. It's called the derivative. Okay. So let's do some robot questions. Robot questions. Robot questions. Robot questions not in disguise.
One of your moms texted me about essay stuff. Emailed me.
Did she?
Yes.
Dude, I told you.
No.
You're right. Sorry. Okay. Where do robot dancers questions? How far did you get?
What do you know?
Can you just get to the next one? I'll erase this.
Yeah. What is this one?
I don't know. I mean, what is it not if you think about it?
Vijay needs to take a taxi. Didn't do this.
Judging by the way you read his name, that sounds like you have not seen this question before.
Yes. All right.
Oh. Crop it. Crop it good. Crop it. Hey! Crop it well.
Okay. I'm gonna put up the answer choices. And you can just do this, yeah? Make you happy?
Yeah, that's fine. All right. So VJ needs to take a taxi, which costs a flat fee of $3.
Brady, you used my dry rag. I'm angry at you.
Wait, this is supposed to be drying.
Oh. Brady, you used it the right way.
Thank you. Plus an additional $4 per mile if VJ has $8 with him, which inequality shows the number of miles M he can afford to travel in the taxi. Okay. So the amount of money he has with them, which is A, has to be less than or equal to the total price. If the amount of money that he has is equal to the total price, he's set. If the amount that he has is less than the total price,
that's not good, so it has to actually be switched. Sorry. The amount of money in his pocket. Number of money. I'm better than that. The amount of money in his pocket needs to be greater than the total price. If it's equal to the total price, that's fine. But if it's less than the total price, he can't pay it. Total price would be more than he could pay. All right? So that's how I'm going to start this here. A has to be greater than or equal to the total price. And remember, A stands for the amount of money he has with him. Okay, so now let's come up with an equation, an expression, that tells us what his cost would be. So the cost has two components here. Ah, nice. You can just draw it down. Wow, you guys are really smart. Hey, you're really smart. So yeah, how do you think that feels? Doesn't feel that bad, actually.
Yeah. Anti-long nose.
And
Anti-long nose.
which
Does that mean that you are...
against long noses?
Yes. Or do you have a very short nose?
So you're the opposite of someone with a long nose.
Yes.
Total price has two components: the flat fee, which you have to pay, $3, and then
Or here, this is more important.
Right.
Or are you a nose that is against longness? Could be any of those.
an anti-long
Don't punch
nose.
this.
I didn't know. That's very interesting.
Yeah, that's new. That's new that the microphone is there. Yeah.
You don't know.
We
that.
don't condone violence.
I know we don't condone violence. We definitely don't condone violence. Your price, thank you, has two components. You're going to pay the flat fee, and then there's the variable cost, which depends on how much you drive. $4 per mile. So M miles would be $4 per mile times number of miles. This is your price. So this equation, this inequality here should make sense. I like it. But it's asking from the perspective of miles, which inequality shows the number of miles he can afford to travel in the taxi. Hey, you followed us. Thank you, Auntie Longnose. When's Uncle Longnose coming into town? We'd like to take him to Applebee's and buy a very calorie-dense meal for an appropriate amount of money.
Bert, there is... Actually, no, I should...
Very good. Okay, so let's solve this thing for M. Got to subtract 3, and I'm going to switch things around a little bit. So 4M is going to be now on this side. This is facing away from the M, so I have to just make sure to remember that. And A minus 3, divide everything by 4. M is less than or equal to A minus 3 over 4. Does that match anything here? Let's see. Okay, so technically that matches B. One thing I have not mentioned is that the amount of miles you can drive is always could be 0. You could just go 0 miles. You have the money to cover that. You can't go negative miles. So if all you said was that M is less than or equal to that, that would also include going negative 100 miles, because that's really, really less than that. So what B does is it puts constraints around M. The very least amount of miles you could go, the fewest amount of miles you could go, right? Very good. Would be 0. The greatest amount of miles you could go would be this expression right here. We see that with B. Well, looks like Auntie Longnose thinks that that's the answer. Well, it turns out that that is the answer, so far as I know. It should be. Yeah, D would be this flipped. I didn't mean to flip the marker and drop it when I said that. Yeah, Auntie Longnose, now that you're a follower, you get lots of exclusive privileges. Like you can shop at the Nerdish store, pick up all sorts of Nerdish merchandise, Nerdish lunchboxes, Nerdish bowling balls. Levi, come on up.
Yes.
What else we got in the Nerdish store?
We have Alta Ipsum.
Alta Ipsum.
It's not here.
Nerdish hearing aids.
We have Nerdish glasses.
Nerdish glasses, definitely. We have, but I don't have money. That's fine, because we have Nerdish money, which you can buy in the Nerdish store with the Nerdish money.
That way you can use your Nerdish money to buy more things.
Yes.
Like more Nerdish money.
You already have Nerdish money to start, right? I mean, everyone has Nerdish money.
Everybody has Nerdish money.
Because you can use your Nerdish money. You can invest it in the Nerdish stock market and grow your Nerdish money to have more Nerdish money.
Also, Nerdish nutrients.
Yeah, we sell a lot of...
They come in tubes. They're gel packs. Nerdish nutrients.
There are literally
just straight punch to the nutrient system. The Nerdish nutrient system, which you should buy to replace your current one.
Yeah. The 9 out of 14 studies show that Americans' Nerdish nutrient systems, just plain nutrient systems, are a little out of whack right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And all of the scientists behind those last 5 studies are dead.
yeah, because they haven't. Yeah, they submitted and died the next day
Yeah.
because their nutrient system wasn't replaced with a nerdish nutrient
Yeah.
system.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, then those are all the things that we have in the nerdish store. There's nothing else.
We're working on sweatshirts.
Yeah, it takes a while. Levi and I are making them thread by thread.
Yep. Thread by thread.
Our calculations show it'll take about 3 years to finish one.
Yes. It will be, the cost will be based on the number of man hours that have gone into it. We don't condone violence.
I was just here. Wait.
I don't want that.
Why? How do you know what you don't want until someone doesn't show it to you?
That's how.
That's what Steve Jobs used to say. How do people know what they want if you haven't shown it to them yet?
I mean, that's valid for some things.
Oh yeah.
But
What
like,
about-
my armpit knows exactly what it wants and doesn't want.
Oh, that's sad. All right, let's do another. What's,
Robot word question?
Robot question. Robot question. That's a Transformers theme song. I have that programmed into my brain from childhood TV. My parents just let me watch as much TV as I wanted. They actually encouraged my TV watching habit.
Oh, you want to do a percentage?
Oh, absolutely. I would be honored. I'd
Would
be
you?
enthralled.
Okay. Same deal here. I will write up the answer choices for you.
Oh, fantastic. Can I message you when I'm having trouble with my math? Absolutely. Now, if you're having trouble with your math right now, what is your current trouble? Because you can ask us questions. We have a Discord below that you can sign up on, and you can post questions in the Discord that we'll answer. But yes, become part of the Discord no matter what, because you can message us on Discord.
Yeah, Auntie Longnose. You have holiday right now. Okay, cool. So are you in the U.S.? Based on the way you said that, I don't think you are.
School starts in a month or so. No, I think you just mean summer break.
I know, but I think.
Oh, just by the way you said
Yeah.
on holiday.
Where are you?
Where would you say you are?
Yeah.
In the world.
Which is a slightly different question from what I asked because it's dumb.
Netherlands. Ah, the Netherlands. Das Nederlands. That's not
Your
it.
accent is spot on.
Thank you. I've been working on it. This is my Dutch accent. Yeah, okay, Auntie Longnose. Auntie Longnose, how did you find out about us?
Is Auntie Longnose something that people say where you live?
Is that like a greeting?
Yeah.
Oh, Auntie Longnose.
Auntie Longnose.
Like that?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? Is that what you do
Yeah.
in the Netherlands?
Probably what you do.
Yeah. I bet they also always say like.
All Americans are stupid. Do
No.
they say that? You think?
No.
You probably do.
No, I shouldn't.
So this stream is for the SAT and ACT, which are tests in the U.S. Stop it! You make me feel so dumb. Dang it, Bird.
What? What did I do?
Okay,
I didn't do anything.
Shh. So we mainly do stuff for that. So if your math questions are stop.
What?
If your math questions are in line with what those tests test, then we'll definitely answer them. If they're not, then we probably won't. But only one way to find out.
And also, there's a lot of time on our streams, so like if no one else is asking questions and you got an interesting question, if it's math, we'll try our best.
Yeah.
What year are you going into in school? What math class are you going to be taking? Levi and I are very interested. And
In
also,
you.
how did you find out about us?
Yes.
That's what we're interested in. We know how we found out about you.
Yeah.
You came on the stream today, but that doesn't answer how you found out about us. Whew. These days are so long, Levi.
I doubt it. So Dahlia makes a cranberry apple punch. I don't know how it works in the USA. What works? Oh,
Yeah.
the test? That's fine. Just ask us questions. We'll let you know
Yeah.
if we can answer or not, or if we want to.
Okay, cranberry apple punch that contains 20% real juice by mixing X gallons of a cranberry drink with Y gallons of an apple drink. The cranberry drink contains 40% real juice, and the apple drink contains 10% real juice. Which of the following equations represents the relationship between X and Y?
Oh, interesting. Interesting. And you're writing the answers on the left?
Yes.
Oh, very good. Oh, I'm so excited for this. I love this.
You love it?
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. All right, so let's first start with a very simple idea here. We are adding cranberry juice with apple juice. And the amount that we're going to get from that by adding these two separate components is x plus y. There's nothing else we could say about the quantity. You add the two together. Are you writing in the mirror?
Yes.
Well, we should tell them the truth.
Why?
I don't know.
It's important to lie to all students.
Yes, that's right.
Yes.
That's the
Tell
saying.
them
That
it'll be okay.
Yeah. Isn't that hard?
So
Anti-long nose. There is. Should we tell them
we
the
should
real story?
We should tell them the real story.
Okay.
Yeah, about when we went to Asia.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Levi and I took a sabbatical a couple years back and spent some years in Nepal, in Tibet specifically, studying at this monastery with Buddhist monks that practice the art of writing backwards on glass screens. It's kind of like the Batman story, because Batman kind of got his powers.
Except, but you know, imagine him, but us, and less good at everything.
Yeah.
Except for the SAT. I've heard Batman was trash
Was he?
at both. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Gotham City requires you to take the ACT,
Yeah.
and therefore the average scores were low. And Bruce was below that. But he had to take it right after his parents were killed.
Bruce Banner.
No. Oh, did we just give it away who he was?
Bruce Wayne.
Actually, I'm going to give it away right now.
No, I want to do this one.
Brady is Batman.
Where's Rachel? Where is she?
Anyway, if that wasn't the truth, anti-long nose, our camera software flips the footage. So we're writing normal.
We're writing normal on a big pane of glass, and this is my left hand.
Very good.
And our shirts say nerdish, but this is actually written backwards in real life.
Yes, that's right. Isn't that fun? We think it's fun.
We also walk backwards. Yes, Matthew, that's right.
We also talk backwards and we inhale while we speak.
It's so upsetting every time.
But that time I also said nonsense.
I know that.
I know. Okay, so that's our quantity. That should make a lot of sense. That's pretty simple. Now we have our actual juice equation.
Did you see the lightning that was caused by you hitting the LEDs?
No, should I do it again?
No. Don't.
Sorry. Okay, the juice equation. So what percentage juice do we have from X cranberry drinks? 20%. So if we take whatever amount of cranberry juice we have and multiply it by 20%, we'll get the amount of juice we have from that. So 0.2 times X will get us the actual amount of real juice we have. And then we're adding that with the juice, the real juice from Y, which has 40%. I'm sorry. Oh, you know what? Hold on. I misapplied the 0.2. They give us the component percentages later. Cranberry. 0.4 of cranberry is actual juice. 0.10 of apple is actual juice. But the eventual drink, which is, remember, X plus Y, in parentheses, has 20% juice content. So that right there, 20% applies to both of them. So let's take a look at our options. It is D. It is D right here. What this says is that 20% of the amount of juice you have at the end is created by taking 40% of the cranberry juice, adding it with 10% of the apple juice. That will give you the same amount of juice. So this equation up here is the overall quantity of juice and how you get the sum, which is, pretty straightforward. This here is the real juice equation. The quantity of real juice you get from each component and the quantity of real juice you have. Juice? No. Juice.
Call Mom.
Juice. No. Do not call Mom. No. Don't call Mom. Don't call Mom. Levi, you have no idea. You have no idea what you do to me. No,
Was
you
it
do
actually
to me.
calling her?
No, it was not. No. Not Jews. Juice. There's a very big difference between cranberry juice and cranberry Jews. Levi and I would know.
We're both cranberries.
We're both cranberries. And actually, I'm part apple
And I'm part juice.
on my mother's side. Yes.
Keep going.
I'm done with the problem.
Oh, okay.
I have nowhere to go except to do this. All right. Auntie Longnose is having fun with us. Auntie Longnose is Dutch because he's from Holland, which also is known as the Netherlands.
Or she.
What?
Auntie.
That's right. He or she, I don't know.
Auntie.
Very good question. Auntie. Auntie is typically a woman's title. As long as you have a sibling who has children, or if you get married and they have a sibling who has children, then you become auntie. Or aunt. Or aunt. Aunt is definitely the proper way to say it, but I say aunt. Actually, one of my aunts is an actual aunt.
What? What, a trap jaw ant?
Aunt Julie is an aunt.
I think I saw her once.
Yeah, there's a whole string of them. One of them was Aunt Julie, but she drank the poison from a trap we put out. It was hard because there were roughly 200 ants in that. We had a little bit of an ant infestation in our kitchen, which we've taken care of thanks to Ant Traps by Raid. Actually, I don't think it was Raid, but it's definitely not our sponsor.
Speaking of our sponsor,
We're sponsored by Ant Traps.
and Alta Ipsum, and Tight Bond Original Wood Glue. They pay us nothing, but we used it to put this board together.
Because Levi and I have a tight bond. You gotta be more
Brady's
floppy.
skeleton has disappeared.
Yes. My skeleton is made of jello.
Yeah.
It'd be sick to have no bones. You know what I'm talking about?
Ask Harry Potter in book 2.
That's right. All your organs lose their structure. You kind of just dissolve into a big pool of skin and organs on the ground. Your brain no longer has a container. I'm telling you, man, that'd be sick, right?
Yeah.
Am I the only one who thinks that? I hope Anti-Longnose thinks that.
Okay, Bird.
Okay, Leave. Let's get down to brass tacks.
Tax the brass.
Tacks of brass. Hey.
A bank is offering a simple interest rate of 5%. That is, the bank will pay a fixed 5% of an initial investment as interest each year. Okay, so this is not compound interest. This is a fixed interest rate. So if you put in $10, you're going to get, or let's say 100. You put in $100 every year, you're going to get $5 added on. So you'll get $105 at the end. You will have $105 at the end of the first year, then 110, then 115, then 120. You won't be doing 5% of the new total. By contrast, a stockbroker is offering a 4% interest rate compounded annually. So 4% of the total value of the investment at the end of the year will be added. So that's the compound one. If $1,000 is invested in the bank and $1,000 is invested with the stockbroker, after 4 years, what will be the total value of the two investments combined? Round your answer to the nearest dollar. Okay. So this is two different things happening at once. Let's see what we got to do. So that first one, no calculator. Probably there's a calculator required for this question. We could probably figure it out without it. I'm going to try, but I think you would have a calculator for this. Okay, so that first one, the bank. Let's do that. Let's do the bank here. And then we have the broker. So the bank, you start with $1,000, and you get a 5% fixed annual investment, which means you get 5%. So we're going to be adding the same amount of money every single year. So I'm going to do plus 0.05 times 1,000.
Levi, you got a question on the board.
I have a question on the board. What does that mean?
You have a question in the chat.
Oh. What's a stockbroker? A stockbroker is when cattle is particularly uppity and not listening to the cattle ranchers. A stockbroker will take this cattle stock and they will break them emotionally.
It'll broke them.
It'll broke them. It
It's a
did
broker.
broke them emotionally. So that's one use of the word stockbroker. The other is they take money and they buy and sell stocks with other people's money. It's a really positive thing for society, for the collective morality of society. It really helps society move forward, in my personal opinion.
Hey.
It's not my opinion. Okay, so this is 5% of that $1,000, but we have to do it 4 times because it's 4 years. So I'm going to do this times 4. Okay? So we're adding 5% 4 times. 5% will be 5% of $1,000 is $40. No, it's not. It's $50. And then you're gonna multiply that by 4 because you add $50 4 times. So we'll know what we get there. Now, the stockbroker, and this is the money one, this is going to be a 4% interest rate. So this will be $1,000. Now in this case, it's going to be different. Auntie Longnose, I'm not sure what you're comfortable with compound interest, or even if that's something that your curriculum teaches, because it's been at least 3 decades since I last...
3 decades since I last...
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's true.
Yes, that's true.
It's been a while since I grew up in the Netherlands, so I'm not sure exactly what you all study and if this is necessary. But if it looks familiar...
They study windmills, dude.
Oh, they study windmills.
Yeah.
Oh, that clears it up. Okay.
Also mention tulip mania.
What?
Mention tulip mania. He'll
No.
know. I'm serious.
I won't. That's an ugly 5.
Anti-Longnose, tell me you know what tulip mania refers to.
Regardless of whether or not you do, just tell him that. Keep him happy. So, this is going to be our original amount of money times 1.05 raised to the 4th power. If you have a question on why this is, please let me know. Actually, this is for Robot, so Robot, I'm going to explain this. This is, you're going to do $1,000 times 1.05, because that 1 is just your original $1,000. If you multiply by 1.05, if you multiply by just 0.05, you're going to get that $50, which is what you want to add to $1,000. So by multiplying by 1.05, this is how much money you will have at the end of the first year. But then you want to take that amount and you want to multiply it to the end of the second year, you would need to multiply by 1.05 again, right? To just keep adding 5% of your current value to that current value. So you keep adding that, and by putting more of these in, by multiplying by that every single time, you're going to just raise it to a certain power. In this case, we do it 4 times. So we raise it to the 4th power. Now, we're going to just add these two together because they're asking what will be the total value of the 2 investments. Because it's $1,000 in each, so we're just going to add these 2 together. Not koozie.
Not koozie. Oh, I wish it was koozie,
Yes.
but it's not koozie. Anti-Longnose, tulip mania happened in your country, I think in the early 1700s or the late 1600s. It was that that market of tulip bulbs that went crazy because they got super overvalued, then it crashed. And that was like the first economic stock market bubble that the world ever saw, where it just got super, super high because everyone got really excited and they kept thinking they could sell it for more money until they hit the ceiling where they realized what they're selling isn't worth that much and people lost a lot of money.
Hey, not koozie. Do you have any questions for us? You're just saying hi. It would be great if you had questions for us, because then we can answer them. We are
Nerdish.
We are nerdish.
Bum ba dum bum 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 bum. Today.
For you.
.com.
Call now. Yeah. Posting in Discord right now. Yes, good. We are absolutely useless to anybody who doesn't ask us questions and doesn't watch us. We are our most useful and our happiest and our most nourished because we use Brady. Stay over there. Go away. Oh my gosh. 1,000 times 0.5. That's a good point. Yeah, so don't be a bozo and be like me and get that wrong. So yeah,
Can you make that
1200.
into an acronym, DBAB?
Excuse me? Don't be a bozo?
DBAB.
D-bab?
Don't be a barzard.
Don't be a bozo. Yeah, and then, right, so, anti-long nose. This is going to be necessary with, you'll need a calculator. So, just do that. And Robot Dancer, when you see this, just find out what this is. If you have any more questions with compound interest, because actually simple interest is not really on the SAT or ACT for the most part. Most part. Yeah. Who knows? Okay, what do we got here in the way of new questions? Oh my gosh. Not Koozie, are you actually trash ball? Okay, I'm going to pull up your question. This looks exciting. Hey, not Koozie, are you also in the Netherlands? Unlikely. Most people are actually not in the Netherlands. Contrary to popular belief, because most people think that most people are in the Netherlands.
Most people are in China.
Most people are in China. And most China is very breakable. Okay, a company sells candy in jars that each have... Koozie, trash ball. How did you find us? Where do you come from? Okay, a company sells candy in jars that each have a volume of 3 cups. Oh boy. Cups is such a stupid measurement. Each jar is filled above a certain line. Okay. Guaranteeing that it has more than 8/3 cups of candy. Which of the following graphs... Your other account got hacked. Oh, Auntie-Long Nose, that's how you found us. Cool. Oh, you were here, so you found us from your old self. That's annoying that you got hacked, though. That's dumb. Oh, so this is just the question, and then we need the answer. Yeah? Is that what the situation is? Come on. All right, so that is good to know. So let's do this. It's not the clearest image. All right. Let's just... Okay. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, I'm butchering this horribly. Okay, so here's the situation. And which of the following graphs shows this stuff? Okay. Which of the following graphs, which we'll get to, shows the possible volumes of candy C in cups a customer may have, given that they bought J jars of candy? Okay. Well, each cup has 8/3. So there's a varying amount of cuppage, right? Thank you for the follow, not Koozie, or thank you for the not follow, Koozie.
How do they...
So Koozie used to be Kuze, who was here before, and their account got hacked.
So wait, how did they hear about us again? Do we know yet?
From their old self.
Okay, but what about Anti-Long Nose?
Scrolling through just chatting.
Oh.
Yeah. Ow.
We gotta tell people to scroll through that.
Yeah. Scroll through that more so more people can find us. Thank you.
Those of you who are watching.
Yeah.
Instructions to discover us.
Yes. This is why we're the biggest streamers on Twitch right now.
Yeah.
Tifu watches us. Anyway.
Is it bad that I don't know who Tifu is?
It's bad that you're saying it right now when I'm trying to teach.
That's fair.
Okay, Bert, so we have a volume of 3 cups in all these jars. And every cup is going to be filled with 8/3 cups of candy.
Sure.
At least.
Oh, yeah.
It has more than 8/3. So not at least, but greater than 8/3 cups. Which of the following graphs, the graphs are invisible, so this will help, shows the possible volumes of candy C in cups a customer may have, given that they have bought J jars of candy.
All right.
Okay, so the more jars of candy you have, the more cups of candy you will have, right? So your slope is definitely going to be positive. And you can have roughly 8/3 cups of candy, but you're going to have more than that, right? So what you're going to have is let's say that you have exactly 8/3. Because when you're graphing inequalities, this is an inequality because you have greater than 8/3. When you have inequalities, just graph the equation that you'll eventually have as an equation. Graph the inequality as an equation, and then figure out where you're going to shape.
Levi,
Yes, Bird.
I have a question.
Do you?
Is there a piece of information in the question that we're not going to use at all?
Yeah.
Which one?
That each jar has a volume of 3 cups.
We don't. That's just the space in the jar. It can handle 3 cups. It doesn't actually matter that it can handle 3 cups in this problem. Because each jar...
Well, it depends on what these actual graphs look like.
Oh, you know what?
So
if
we
it
do
has
need that.
if it has more than 8/3 cups of candy, it can't have more than 3 cups of candy.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Okay. So that means you're going to have 2 lines.
I can't believe I made that mistake.
You should be fired.
I should be, or better yet, you should. Well, in a couple minutes, actually.
Okay.
Another child soon.
Yeah, me too. 2 more months.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right is right.
All right, keep going.
Okay. So, for every jar of candy that you have, you're going to have 8/3 of a cup, right? So therefore, we're going to have C equals 8/3 J. This is my brother, actually.
Nah, CJ.
So, let me explain this reasoning. Every jar of candy that you have 8/3 cups of candy. Now, this is going to be greater than, because you have to have more than 8/3 of a cup. So C has to be more than 8/3 for every J. So every J you have, you just keep going up.
That's the min. You have to have at least that. Actually, you have to have more than that, so you can't have that amount. This is the max. You have a volume of 3 cups in each jar. So the most you can... Oh, thank you! We got another follower! Yay, followers!
Zymer tracks.
We love that!
We love you asking questions almost, actually much more. Haha, when's your birthday? Grab some of my songs and
Oh,
search.
okay, never mind.
Oh
Great.
my gosh! We'll do that!
Thank you so much for
We're gonna
bringing
do
your
that.
services to our service.
Yeah.
It can't... Okay, it can have 3 Prodvanix. Oh, that sounds like a drug or something, like a prescription drug. It can have 3 cups at the most, because that is that's the limit of what jar can what each jar can handle. So I'm going to say C has to be less than or equal to 3J, because we can actually have the volume of 3 cups, but we can't have more than that.
I want to say that.
Otherwise, the jar. Why do you want to say that?
Hey, do you know what a glass pirate that can hold jelly beans is called?
Yar!
A jar!
LOL, guess who I am? Prodvanix.
Guess who you are?
I feel like you know who this is. And I know who it is too, but it's someone that you know quite well.
Really?
Maybe?
It's Prodvanix, not Janix.
Trapsy. Oh, would that it were Trapsy.
Would that it were.
Would that it were indeed. Isn't that person that you... I mean, I'm just looking at the letters here. Am I wrong?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Wind chimes? Is that who that is?
I don't think so. What letters are you talking about, dude?
Just
there's
no,
like
no,
not
just,
much overlap.
Oh, there's some. Are you kidding me?
There's not much.
There's some
There's not much.
compared to most names. Do you remember Trapsy? Of course, we remember Trapsy.
Yes, we remember Trapsy.
Is that who Prodvanix is?
Do you remember Trapsy?
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I bet you don't remember Trapsy.
Brady, be nice to them.
Oh, wait a second. Are you? That's Trapsy. Are you sure, Prodvanix? You're Trapsy. Are you sure about the fact that you're Trapsy? Because we've been worried a lot about people that think they're Trapsies. Okay, wait, Levi.
What?
This is apparently Trapsy. Prodvanix, prove it. What did you ask us last time you were on our stream?
What did you want us to do for your viewers? I'm Trapsy. I'm gonna make them do these things, and they're gonna love it because they're gonna get viewers. What did you make us do?
That's not Trapsy.
Well, Netkuzi seems to think that's Trapsy. I forgot. Well, that's actually valid because I bet Trapsy does raid streams all the
I
time.
don't think that's Trapsy.
All right, fine.
I think that's someone else.
Yeah, you're not
entirely.
Trapsy. If you were Trapsy, you'd be Trapsy. You wouldn't be Prod Vanix. Which I think I'm going to get prescribed later this month. Prod Vanix. Take it when you're bored.
Drumsy is who you're thinking of.
Oh, Drumsy.
Trapsy's just like a viewer.
Trapsy's just a viewer.
Yeah,
I was
not
so
just
excited.
I know you were, dude. Oh my gosh.
We don't get no
I'm
violence.
embarrassed. Okay, so
No, you're not who we thought you were. The person
No.
we thought
well,
made
don't
us...
use we in this situation.
What?
I knew exactly who they weren't.
Wait.
Where is she? Where is she? Where's Rachel?
Very good.
Okay,
I have
Progenics,
to
we're very
go.
sorry about Brady.
I have to go.
You have to go right now.
I'm sorry about myself. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm dirty.
Okay, so here are two equations. Notice over there we got C and J axes, yes? And we have 8/3. We have to be okay. So we have 8/3 and we have 3. So 8/3 is slightly less than 3, right? Slope-wise. So slope.
wise.
I don't like A because that one with slightly lesser slope, we have to be greater than that one, so it should be shading above that line, which is not happening in A. It does look like it's happening, at least in the first quadrant, in B, so that's cool. Is it B? I don't know. I want to look at the next two as well. And then we have to be less than or equal to 3J, so that one is the slightly more, and we have to be less than that one. So actually B looks pretty good. It's B! Great. I'll just go through C and D just to make sure, because you guys don't seem that sure that it's B. This is so much fun. You guys remember when we did this like 10 years ago? We were all just so young. This is the way it's always been. Us 5. Okay. Same deal here. So that slightly less steep slope should be greater than that. So that seems okay for that it's shaded in there, but it's not actually shaded in above that line, in the little sliver there. So I don't like C. And then D, also that sliver in the first quadrant, it's not shaded above there, and it should be. So the answer is B. Brady, oh, there's Trapsy. Okay. Wait, what's happening? Where's Brady? Brady has just gone to tutor a child. So he's gone. But we'll be back tomorrow. Okay, so this is this one. Why is it not D? Okay. It's not that sus. Sus is such a ridiculous word. I remember I was tutoring a student and he said sus like 3 times, and he was describing like answer choices on the SAT, and I had no idea what he was saying. But he was saying this is wrong. It just seems sus, and I thought it was a curse word or like something inappropriate, so I just didn't address it. He said it a couple times. It was, that's pretty interesting. That's about as interesting as my life gets. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern. Very nice. PM. Okay. So why is it not D? We want to be greater than 8/3 J. So that means we need to shade above the line with the 8/3 slope, which is the slightly lesser slope. So I can actually, I'll just make D a little bit clearer. So we have this line, this is the 8/3 slope. And then we're going to just make it really obvious, this is the 3 slope. So this is 3J, this is 8/3 J. So for the 8/3 J, we need to be greater than that. So we're going to shade here. And then for the 3J, we need to be less than or equal to that. So we need to shave here. So this would be where it needs to be shaded, which it is not in D. It looks like it's shaded down here, which is exactly what we don't want to do. So that would be a massive screw up. I forget who asked this question. Oh, it was Kuzi, right? Or not Kuzi. Kuze. Or Trash Bucket? Trash Ball, right? Okay, do you have more questions? No. Got some general stuff. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. It's 7:30 my time. I don't know about your time. We will answer questions tomorrow, 6 to 7:30, same time. I think I'll tune in tomorrow. Oh, do you? I'd like to see you try. I would also really love to see you try to tune in tomorrow with a bunch of questions. Don't leave. We have to leave. We have to. It's important to have people you love leave. I'm not saying you love me, but it's important. You need to practice that. Because it makes you more strong. No, you don't. That's a good point. I didn't think about it that way. Now that I am, I'm going to change my mind. And not only will I leave, I'll add to that. I'll come back. When is the next stream? The next stream is tomorrow. So we do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. As Matthew said 4 or 5 comments ago, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is so we're in New York City. So whatever time you are towards New York City, it will be the same tomorrow because that doesn't change too much. Changes sometimes when we do daylight savings, which is stupid. Okay, have a lovely night, everybody. See you tomorrow. Please bring your questions because that's what we eat, and then we regurgitate in much the same way that owls yarp pellets. We regurgitate answers. And it's a very symbiotic relationship between tutor and student. Alta Ipsum. Oh, we didn't actually do that. There you go. Alta Ipsum is actually our sponsor. They're lovely. It's an executive functioning app. You can download it on your phone or your laptop, and you can put in your grades. You can put in when you have tests and things like that, and it will set up study schedules for you. It will set up writing schedules for you. It will tell you when things are going well, when things are not going well, and it will lead you. You'll be able to ride it like a horse during the artificial intelligence revolution that's coming later in 2019. Release date to be determined. Have a lovely night, everybody. See you tomorrow.